Hello everyone. In our video of today, we will talk about panic attacks, very common in all societies. But what is a panic attack?
Panic attacks are sudden periods of intense fear that may include palpitations, sweating, shaking, shortness of breath, numbness, or a feeling that something bad is going to happen. The maximum degree of symptoms occurs within minutes. Typically they last for about 30 minutes, but the duration can vary from seconds to hours. There may be a fear of losing control or chest pain. Panic attacks themselves are not dangerous. Panic attacks can occur due to a number of disorders including panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, drug use, depression, and medical problems. They can either be triggered or occur unexpectedly. Risk factors include smoking and psychological stress. Diagnosis should involve ruling out other conditions that can produce similar symptoms including hyperthyroidism, hyperparathyroidism, heart disease, lung disease, and drug use.
The psychiatrist Harry Croft will explain it briefly.
A panic attack is an overwhelming sense of anxiety, often accompanied by physical symptoms like rapid heart, trouble catching one's breath, feelings of dizziness, feelings that I'm either going to go crazy or I'm going to die. That kind of fear with perhaps chest pains and other symptoms that accompanies the anxiety. And often it's for no reason at all. It comes out of the blue and affects people, often in their sleep. When I treat people with panic disorder, they often will tell me, you know, I'm just watching TV, minding my own business, and for no reason at all, my heart starts to race, I can't catch my breath, I feel dizzy, I get chest pain, and often they end up going to the emergency room because they're so fearful. This thing is so overwhelming that it causes them enough concern to get medical attention. Now, interestingly, panic attacks generally come on very quickly and often only last a few minutes. So often what happens is the person with the panic attack goes to the emergency room, and by the time the EKG is finally done and the results are in, the panic attack's over, and they say, well, we can't find anything wrong with you. Well, they're feeling better anyhow, and so they begin to ignore it until the second panic attack occurs, and then it sets up a pattern of real problems that can result in panic disorder.
Thank you, doctor. Then what will be the treatment to cure these panic attacks, doctor?
Treatment for panic disorder generally involves three parts. Number one is understanding what it is they're suffering from. That this is not a heart attack, this is not a mental nervous breakdown, this is not lung disease, stomach disease, just insomnia. This thing that I have has a name. And so education about the disorder is part one. Part two is therapy. Therapy that allows people to learn to master the attack itself, whether it's through deep breathing or some other type of relaxation or some type of meditation, but some behavioral treatment of the disorder, both behaviorally and changing the thoughts, what we call cognitive therapy, so that people can learn to talk to themselves more positively during the attack. What do I mean by that? This is a panic attack. I've had this before. I always get over it. I get over it faster if I get control of my breathing and my pulse and other things. And then the third part of treatment involves medication. Does everybody need medication? Not necessarily, but many people are benefited by medication. And medication falls into two groups. Number one, drugs to prevent the recurrence of the attacks, and these are usually drugs that we typically know as antidepressants. Remember, we call drugs what they first get FDA approved for. So Zoloft, for example, was first FDA approved for depression. We call it an antidepressant. Later on, they found out Zoloft worked for people with panic disorder, even those who were not depressed, and the FDA approved it for panic disorder. But we still call it an antidepressant because that's what it first got approved from. And I say that because a lot of people have the wrong idea. Why is this doctor giving me an antidepressant? I'm not depressed. I have panic attacks and panic disorder. So drugs that work for depression often work to prevent panic attacks, and then to treat the attacks when they get out of hand. Often we'll use drugs called tranquilizers, drugs with names like Ativan or lorazepam or Xanax or alprazolam, or drugs like Klonopin or clonazepam. Those drugs treat the attacks but not the condition. So they'll reduce the anxiety during the attack, but they don't prevent the next attack.
Greg, thank you very much, doctor. We do not always have to seek to the medications. We have many ways to control this evil dominated the mind. What will be the summary, mate?
Thank you, Gamboa. As a conclusion, you should visit your doctor, take the corresponding medications, have a healthy life, do sports and a good diet. Above all, follow the medicinal treatments. But as a conclusion, the power is in the mind. Thanks for watching the video. Until next time, please subscribe.